Hi, you're listening to Mighty Mommy, and I'm ready to share some creative, insightful, and practical parenting tips with you. I'm your host, Cheryl Butler. Parents everywhere are seeing a trend with their children that is getting completely out of hand: electronic overload. Between video games, iPods, laptops, smartphones, and endless texting back and forth to friends, our kids are getting away from activities that stimulate both their brains and their bodies. There's nothing wrong with allowing kids time to indulge in electronics. It is the digital age, after all. But electronic moderation is key, and we as parents have to encourage kids to rouse their brains and their bodies on a daily basis as well. Today, I'm going to share 7 tips with you that will help keep your children's brains sharp and agile. The best part about the tips I have to share today is that they don't require any fancy gimmicks or expensive gadgets. Instead, we can utilize things that are available to us on a daily basis. Tip number 1. Read everything and anything. One of the best gifts we can give to hungry brains is knowledge. Reading is still one of the most effective ways for learning new things. While chapter books are certainly wonderful, you can also give your children a variety of other materials to read, such as cookbooks, nutritional labels, newspapers, magazines, menus, travel itineraries, and movie schedules. Then test their understanding by having them summarize what they read. Let them read aloud to you, to their siblings, to neighbors, and to grandparents as often as possible. By interacting with them after they've read something, you are engaging them to think, respond, and get creative. Tip number 2. Math activities in the kitchen and in the store. Families spend a majority of their time together in the kitchen. This is a wonderful opportunity to get your kids' minds thinking mathematically. Give them some jobs in the kitchen that will require them to figure out math in their heads. Here are a few suggestions. Idea number 1. Look at nutritional labels with your child and point out the serving size and number of servings per package. Many foods, like crackers and cookies, denote servings as the number of items. Ask your child to calculate how many cookies or crackers would be needed to make 2 or 4 servings. Idea number 2. Ask your children to help you figure out how to make half of a recipe or how to double the recipe. Show them the amounts of each ingredient and explain that you need to use exactly half of each one or twice as much. Encourage using numerical division if they're old enough, or have them show you the correct measuring implements if they're too young to use the numbers. Idea number 3. When grocery shopping, head to the produce department and let your child figure out the cost of the fruit and veggies that you'll be buying. Show the produce scale to your child and explain that each pound is divided into 16 ounces. Tell him how many pounds of fruit you wish to purchase and weigh the fruit you've picked out. Ask him to estimate how many more you need to bring it to the desired weight. Tip number 3. Stay sharp in the car. The time you and your kids spend in the car really does add up. So this is the perfect opportunity to incorporate some stimulating mind exercises while on the go. Here are some of our family's favorites. Activity 1. Have each family member look for and choose a license plate and write it down. Remove the non-numerical symbols. Everybody compare numbers and calculate whose license plate has the largest number. Take it one step further by asking by how much. What would that number round up to? Round down to? What number is in the tens place? What's the largest place value on the license plate? Activity number 2. Tell a story that includes key elements that must be memorized. For example, you could start the story by saying, "I love Cocoa Beach because of the soft sand." The next person says, "Mom loves Cocoa Beach because of the soft sand, but I really like to ski at Attitash Mountain because of the Triple Diamond Hills." Everyone in the car builds on the story, but must include the details from the very beginning from each person. It gets silly sometimes, but it's a fun way to work on memory skills. Tip number 4. Keep them active. Kids who are playing outside, on the swings, on the jungle gym, in the sandbox, riding their bikes, or are involved in an organized sport such as Little League or gymnastics, are engaging their bodies and imaginations. Kids who are playing video games and watching TV are not. It's that simple. Physical activity stimulates mental activity, so you get your kids moving. Check out my episode on fun ways to keep your kids active for more ideas. Tip number 5. Learn a new hobby. Find an age-appropriate interest for your child that he or she hasn't tried before. It could be building a model airplane, learning to paint a still life, taking a pottery class, or the trend that's currently surging in popularity, teaching kids to knit and crochet. When the brain is learning new skills, it's also staying sharp. Tip number 6, play memory games. There's nothing like a good memory game to help keep your kids focused. My younger kids love it when I put about 8 items in a box. I let them see the box for about 45 seconds, and then I take it away. Next, they all have to name all the items that were in the box. It's super simple, yet extremely effective, and even better when a few kids are involved because it creates a bit of competition. Another great memory game is concentration. Grab a deck of 52 playing cards and spread them out face down. Match up pairs by memorizing the location of each card. This game is also fun for younger kids who enjoy cards with their favorite cartoon characters. You can find them in stores with characters like Dora the Explorer or SpongeBob. If you visit funbrain.com, you'll find lots of interesting memory games to play online. Tip number 7, puzzles and construction projects. Crossword puzzles, word searches, and the popular game of Sudoku are great ways to exercise the brain. Kids needn't spend hours doing them either. Spending 15 minutes a day is perfect. Another wonderful way to get those brains thinking is by allowing them creative play with things like construction items, Legos, wooden blocks, building card houses, constructing sand castles, and playing with big foam blocks. My pediatrician is a strong advocate for blocks because of how versatile they are for every age group. Infants and toddlers enjoy simply touching and gripping the blocks. 2-year-olds may demonstrate their first attempts at building structures and show the early signs of imaginative play. Around the age of 3, children learn how to fit pieces together and build more complex structures. 4-year-olds begin to recognize designs and patterns, and their structures become works of art. And soon after, school-age children learn to recreate structures they see in everyday life, like the police station or their school. Helping your child keep his brain sharp does not have to be daunting. If you add a few of these fun activities into your children's regular routine, you'll be helping them stay focused and on top of their game for years to come. Check back next week for more Mighty Mommy tips. If you have a question or a suggestion for a future Mighty Mommy episode, please email me at mommy@quickanddirtytips.com. Check out the Mighty Mommy Facebook page, where I share lots of quick parenting tips all week long. You can also follow me on Twitter at Mighty Mommy, or join me on Pinterest.com, where you can visit all of my family-friendly boards. Have fun helping your child to exercise his brain, and until next time, happy parenting!